as far as actually doing things. But that doesn't diminish the importance of the United Nations because, again, it is useful to have standards, human rights standards that should be adhered to, but also to bring education to the people about the fact that the United States is in complete violation of many human rights abuses or human rights treaties that they have signed themselves. So that's all I have, and I'll see you on another video.
Well, for the past 10 years, the struggle in America has been confined to what has been projected to the public as a civil rights struggle. And in that context, it has remained a domestic problem. It has remained within the jurisdiction of the United States. And as such, it has been impossible for the Afro-Americans or American Negroes to try and enlist the support of other dark-skinned people who were being oppressed the world over in that struggle. And the difference now in the direction that the struggle is taking from the direction that the struggle has been going in the past, there are many of our people who are thinking more deeply and more broadly and are beginning to see the importance of lifting it out of the national context or out of the domestic context or beyond the jurisdiction of the United States government. And the only way this can be done is by internationalizing the problem and putting it at a level where it can be taken into the United Nations, and then all of the other independent nations on this earth can involve themselves in our struggle and support us. And the only way by which this can be done, instead of it being called civil rights in the future, we're going to have to label it a human rights struggle or the struggle for human rights. And as such, we can then take it into the United Nations through the avenues that have been set up by the United Nations Commission on Human Rights. We can take our problem before the United Nations in the same manner that the problem of South Africa, Angola, Mozambique, Hungary, the Arab refugee problem, it becomes a world problem. And as a world problem, then the Afro-American or the so-called Negroes full results, because it's not left up to the one who's responsible for it anymore, but it's put at a level where the whole can see that our plight is wrong. It stood in our path in the past. It also makes a difference in the leadership. Those who have been posing as leaders of our people in America in the past, they can pose on this local stage where Uncle Sam is the master of the show and can prop them up and make them look good or make them look better than they actually are by giving them token gains and building them up an image. But when they step onto the international stage or the world stage, then Uncle Sam can't prop them up anymore. And their ability or lack of ability becomes exposed. And if they can lead us forward, they remain leaders. But if they can't, then they have to step aside, and more qualified and bona fide leaders step up from the masses of our people, and then we get faster progress, we get more results. The Afro-American or American Negro intellectual perhaps permitted himself to be used in a way that wasn't really beneficial to the overall Afro-American struggle. But I think today these intellectuals have begun to undertake a new appraisal of the problem, looking at it as it actually is, and are beginning to see it more in the international context and the relation that it has with the African struggle.
Hello family, it's African Esquire and I'm here with a new video. So news came out today that the United States government plans to withdraw from the United Nations Human Rights Council. Now if you're wondering what is the Human Rights Council and why is that relevant to us, many of you might remember that Malcolm X was an avid supporter of Africans in America petitioning the United Nations in order to get recognition for the human rights abuses being done to Africans in America. And the body that he wanted to petition was, back then it was called the United Nations Commission on Human Rights, but now we call it the United Nations Human Rights Council. So just to recap a little bit about Malcolm and why this was his strategy. At that time, a lot of African nations had recently gotten their independence. They were also newly independent and didn't have as much neo-colonial forces keeping control of the economies of these countries. So at that time, it seemed reasonable when you see different countries getting their independence, different revolutionaries who were running these countries. And when I say revolutionaries, I mean people like Nkrumah and people like Toure. When you see all of this happening in the continent, it made sense that the Africans in America recognized that these states were independent and free and therefore could possibly back them in order for the United States, for Africans in America to get their petition put into the United Nations. So at that time, that was his strategy. You had all of these liberated countries. Neocolonialism was not yet the dominant force in the continent of Africa, but at that time, Europe was scrambling to figure out how to regain control of Africa after colonialism had ended. So Malcolm had actually traveled to Africa and got the promise from a number of African countries that they would back him up if he took the grievances of the United States to the United Nations. Now, that is not necessarily going to work today for a number of reasons. As I said, at that particular time, whenever the countries were liberated or countries were independent, a lot of them were not being ran by neocolonial forces. A lot of them were newly independent, and while the countries in Europe were fighting to maintain control of those countries, they weren't so efficient yet. So we know today, for example, if a country in Europe wants to retain control of an African country, so we'll say retain control of Guinea, a lot of times they'll have a leader of the country who is picked by the West, and they will be communicating with those leaders, and they will be making deals with those leaders behind the backs of the citizens. So the citizens have no idea what's going on. They do not know when these United States companies or European companies are meeting with their elected officials. So this process is completely off the radar. And that is why it's so efficient, neocolonialism, because it is off the radar and not a lot of people can figure out exactly what deals are happening, what countries are involved, what businesses are involved. I mean, even for Boycott Togo, as some of you might know, we're trying to create a boycott of Togo in order to bring attention to the fact that not boycott Togo, boycott France. We're trying to create a boycott of France to bring attention to the fact that the French government is the government that's really backing the dictator in Togo who is oppressing his citizens. But even with something like that, it's very difficult to know exactly what corporations to boycott because so many corporations are completely hidden from our view. We can't call them out, we can't figure them out because all of this stuff is done in meetings that are completely unknown to the public. Now, because of this and neocolonialism's efficiency, and because the West has managed to wipe out African leaders who are revolutionary, we are in a position today where we are essentially without a liberated Africa. So Malcolm's strategy would not work in the sense of Africans in America getting African countries, most African countries, to back us, because a lot of these countries are have leaders who are in place that were placed there by the West. And so they are essentially controlled by the West. They are puppets of the West. Similar to how a lot of Africans in America, we have leaders who are said to be people who speak for the whole black community, said to be people who want to distinguish universities, and we should listen to their opinions because they know what's good for us. It tends to be that the people who get to these high positions, the people who have big positions in corporations, the people who try to speak for us the most and are given the platform by CNN or given a platform by MSNBC or Fox News or whatever, these people are always chosen by the power structure. So I would say look at that as analogous. The same way that we might look at these people and say, you don't represent us, you don't come to the black community, you don't speak the voice of the people. That's a similar thing that's what's going on in Africa, because a lot of these people are placed there by Western powers, and therefore they're not representing their citizens, they're essentially representing the interest of the West. Now, even though Africa is not liberated, and really not as close to liberation as it was back in the 60s, does that mean that Malcolm's strategy is obsolete? I would say absolutely not. It's not obsolete, because now we have a whole nother issue. And that is the issue of neocolonialism. Back whenever the United Nations started recognizing African countries, they admitted that colonialism was wrong, although they still allowed the practices of colonialism, such as places like Puerto Rico and other places. But while they admitted that the colonialism was wrong, they weren't willing to enforce those. While they admitted that colonialism was wrong, there was no need to enforce colonialism being wrong, because the West at least was saying that they were no longer colonizing countries. But the United Nations has never ever stood up against neocolonialism. And if all the things that the United Nations say is a big issue, for example, they have groups that solve issues as far as women's issues, groups that solve issues as far as children, poverty, healthcare. All of these are supposedly important issues to the United Nations. Why would they not talk about the issue that is at the heart of it, and that is neocolonialism? Neocolonialism is what causes there to be a culture in these countries, and not just a culture, but an economic landscape where these people are deprived of all of their necessities, they're deprived of the resources that are in their own country, and that is really what creates the conditions that United Nations is saying that they want to solve. If they want to solve poverty in Africa, then why would you not talk about the fact that the West is the one that's causing Africa to be poor? Why would you not condemn the United States, condemn Europe, condemn China now more and more? Why would you not condemn those powers as doing something illegal? So that's the problem with the United Nations right now. They don't recognize neocolonialism as a force, as an economic force that is causing people to live in these conditions. They would rather talk about the conditions that are created. For example, you could talk about issues in the communities in America. You could say, well, there's issues with fatherless homes, or there's issues with people robbing each other. But if you're not willing to deal with the heart of those issues, which a lot of it is psychological, but a lot of it is economic, then you're just talking about the issues that are going to happen repeatedly, and no one's going to solve them. No one's going to address them, because no one's talking about what is the heart of these issues and what is really causing our people to suffer. So now, here are some reasons why this United Nations ruling, or their decision, is still dismal, because I do think that Africans internationally, we have an opportunity to organize ourselves in such a way that even though the United Nations has basically said they're not going to be a system of force, because let's be serious, a lot of the countries that are in the United Nations, and the most vocal countries, are the worst human rights abusers. So even though they're not going to condemn themselves and prosecute themselves, we still have an opportunity, especially with social media, especially with information, to publicly condemn them and condemn them as one force. So it is dismal that the United Nations has lost the United States as a party inside of their commission, because if we don't have one of the worst human rights abusers in the commission, how do we get these issues addressed? How do we bring them to the forefront when the United States is incarcerating millions of African people in America, and then the United States goes in other countries and commits total sabotage on those economies, whether it be Haiti, whether it be different African nations. The United States is the worst imperialist, and China is coming right up behind. So an article was published by Bloomberg about this issue says that the Trump administration plans to announce its plans to withdraw from the United Nations Human Rights Council on Tuesday, making good on a pledge to leave a body it has long accused of hypocrisy and criticized as biased against Israel. So I'm going to stop right there. Obviously, this is the whole statement just doesn't make sense. Number one, I don't know of the United Nations Human Rights Council being biased against Israel, because if anything, Israel has been allowed to exist on someone else's land, taking someone else's land and basically committing genocide on those people. So I don't know how in the world that you have gotten this idea that the United Nations is biased against Israel. If anything, they're biased for Israel. Because really, all of the actions that are being committed by the Israeli government against the Palestinians, and not just against the Palestinians, but against many African people. There have been African people that have immigrated to Israel and are facing deportation. There have been African people that have immigrated who would like to immigrate to Israel. There's a Ugandan group of Jewish people who are asking for recognition of their Judaism as Judaism, and Israel has said, we're not going to recognize you as Judaism, because essentially that would let the Ugandan Jews have access to the land that they claim is theirs. So they're very biased for Israel, and the fact that they're not calling out all of these human rights atrocities, the thousands and thousands of Palestinians that are being killed by Israeli forces, obviously the occupation, the inhumane treatment, the disgusting things that have been done to the Palestinians and to Africans, and anyone really who is not of European Jewish descent who tries to claim rights to that, to the Israeli homeland. Now, it goes on to say that the 47-member council, created in 2006 and based in Geneva, began its latest session on Monday with a broadside against President Donald Trump's immigration policy by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. He called the policy of separating children from parents crossing the southern border illegally unconscionable. Now, I think it's interesting that is what prompted so much discussion. Obviously, it's horrible what's being done to immigrant families, being separated from children, the parents being separated from children being kept in cages, and there's been photos that corroborate the statements that have been said that this is actually happening. But it's interesting that is being called out right now when we know that the United States has a very long history of separating families. We know that the United States has a very long history of inhumanely treating children. The foster system has a long history of separating families of African descent. The prison system has a long history of separating families of African descent, but also of unfairly imprisoning parents and children. I mean, just recently we're starting to get some type of juvenile reform, but still a lot of juveniles are kept inside of these systems and being treated as adults, even though they don't have the mental capacity to act as an adult, to think as an adult, to do anything that an adult, any responsibility that an adult would have to this country. So to treat them as an adult, totally denies their capacity and totally disregards their biological state. So the United States has been doing this for a long time, but the media essentially chooses specific scenarios in order to try to bring attention to things that are being done. I would argue that the media intentionally picks scenarios and picks instances that are happening that are not going to affect the mass of Americans. Because while there are some people who are being separated from their children, undoubtedly, there's many more people that are being separated from their children in prison than are being separated at these borders. So the article goes on to say the U.S. withdrawal comes as little surprise. National Security Advisor John Bolton opposed the body's creation when he was a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations in 2006. In a speech to the Council last year, Haley called out the body for what he said was relentless pathological campaign against Israel. She also urged expelling members of the Council that have pure human rights abuse records themselves. Other members include China, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. So the funny thing about this to me, of course, is I really do think that what the United States has done as far as imperialism and then also just things domestically, I don't think we completely understand how crazy it is, how many people are incarcerated in this country, the unfathomable numbers, mostly of African people, the total separation of children and the total destroying of neighborhoods and communities. I don't think we totally understand just how serious these things are. So the United States is, to me, the worst human rights abuser, and it does it more efficiently than anyone else because they can do so while pretending to be humane. They can do so while sending peace courts to different countries or sending aid to other countries, and we know that aid can certainly be loans that are going to have very high interest rates and put these same countries in debt. So the idea that the United States wants to withdraw from the Council because there are other countries that commit human rights abuses, in spite of the United States having some of the worst human rights abuse records, and I would say the worst historically, when you look all the way back to obviously enslaving Africans, but also wiping out an entire population of people in order to build a civilization on this land, dropping the atomic bombs. I mean, just the history of this country is bloodshed after bloodshed. The fact that the United States has the nerve to say that other countries should not be in this council because they have horrible human rights abuses just shows the hypocrisy and I would say the pathology of racism. If you're not killing people who are European, then the pathology of racism really makes you feel like you're still good. You could kill African people, you could kill Native Americans, you can kill Palestinians, but you're still good because you're not killing people who look like European or who are European or of European descent. So the idea that you have a moral superiority, it's very documented throughout history. The same way you'll have people lynching African people, yet these same people will fight against you if you try to touch one of their children or whatever. They feel like they have the moral stance to do that because in the pathology of racism, you really do believe that black is bad and white is good, and therefore, whenever you do bad by a black, you are completely justified. So, lastly, the article says that the Trump administration's withdrawal is a sad reflection of its one-dimensional human rights policy. Defending Israeli abuses from criticism takes precedence above all else. Human Rights Watch Executive Director Kenneth Roth said in a statement, other governments will have to redouble their efforts to ensure the Council addresses the world's most serious human rights problems. So basically, now that the United States has withdrawn from the Council, you're going to have the country that is so self-righteous and wants to basically be involved with defining what is wrong, what is a human rights abuse. Well, they're not going to be so active anymore. And undoubtedly, whenever you have people who live in those countries and reside in those countries bringing the abuses of the United States, so for example us, to the attention of the United Nations, the United States has more of a reason to essentially ignore the rules of the United Nations. Now, I'm sure this will just be a matter of an administration change, as most things are, which is why you shouldn't get too wrapped into the things that happen in Washington politics, at least, because those politics tend to go one way quickly and go the other way quickly, which is why you shouldn't put all of your money and all of your chance of liberation into litigation or policies, because those policies are easily reversed with an administration change. But at the same time, it is concerning if we are going to move towards the dream of Malcolm, and that is to organize African people to bring the charges of the United States against the United Nations. But it's not too concerning to me for a number of reasons. One, even if the United Nations was inside of the Human Rights Council, even African people getting together to bring those charges to the United Nations, I don't think that would have too much of an effect as far as the United Nations actually acting on the charges. However, for people who look like us in the United Nations, that could have an effect. And that could have an effect of people being able to call out the United States whenever the United States wants to point the finger at them and say that they have bad human rights atrocities. It's just as powerful to say, well, you have bad human rights atrocities, so you should be able to treat your people better, and then maybe we'll treat our people better. So that's where the power lies, and I think the power would lie more so in education and inside of organization, organizing Africans, African governments, African people, African organizations to understand our human rights and understand that we should be calling out the United States for their human rights. And I really think that an ideological campaign waged against United States media that said that they're so liberal or progressive, but they're quickly turn a blind eye to neocolonialism and different policies of countries in Europe, waging a real educational campaign in order to organize resistance, that can ultimately have the real effect. Maybe not getting the United Nations as a body to go out and say and condemn the United States, or actually not just condemn the United States, but act on their condemnation of the United States, but actually getting African people and other people of color who have been victims of imperialism and colonialism to gather together and understand that the abuses of this country and of European countries are so atrocious and yet so hypocritical as far as what they say that they stand for. Therefore, we should organize and be able to, even if the United Nations won't recognize the human rights, let's recognize them among ourselves and organize in that capacity, and then find a way to link our resistance to each other. So that's all I have for this article. I'd love to know what you think. Are you like me? Do you think that the United Nations really doesn't mean much as far as actually doing things? But that doesn't diminish the importance of the United Nations because, again, it is useful to have standards, human rights standards that should be adhered to, but also to bring education to the people about the fact that the United States is in complete violation of many human rights abuses or human rights treaties that they have signed themselves. So that's all I have, and I'll see you on another video.
Greetings, we there. Yeah, man, we are dealing with different. Caribbean, Islington, Hackney, Haringey, we there, man. Tottenham. Danny, we there, man. Things in time, cultural expression, rapping one. Mighty Harry Moody. Yes, our intention has not changed. One big difference is this. We're going straight at the jugular pertaining to what is happening to black people in the diaspora. So we can find and accommodate a solution for anti-Semitism, properly known as racism. And we can energize ourselves. Now some African nations are acknowledging that we are the children, the heir keys of the slaves. And we wish to repatriate peacefully. Yeah. And that way I say. We not play puss and boot and mouth and shoes with anything. You see? Plus, we're losing our children regularly. And it's a concern of many. Yeah. Our children. So sound system is a good entertainment, but it don't have any form of legitimate play in the thing unless it have righteousness in that which Rastafari brought to the forefront. Brother Oil, Brother Marty Mapana, Brother Jalide, and many more, including my mentor, Augustus Pablo, and Hugh Mandel. So America is America, but right now I live in England. And the atrocities that's happening in the Caribbean and the ones that's happening here has affected me, and it will affect me because I'm an African black man. Yeah. So sound system and music is a joy, but it's not the main focus of my attention. And you will hear the way me change my thing, because my gears are still the same. It's just that me accommodate the pop to what you call the thing, keep the system that I was working with working properly, but there's a lot of prohibiting. Yeah, in America now we have Nero. You know, the Roman Empire. Those of you who know history, or new history, you know what I mean? Yeah, the Romans always wanted to be like our fathers in Kemet. So you had one called Nero. So if you all know history and you keep abreast with that, you know, say, the present day America, him is the incarnation of Nero. And now him have a son. Him have a surrogate son that is being sworn in this day. Yeah? Yeah, man. So Islamophobia and all them something there. Racism and all them something there. Nothing that change. The only thing that changes is that we don't keep up with that which is. With this belief, say, other things is more important. That's not me. So, Caribbean, St. Vincent, Dominica, Venezuela, Barbados, Guyana, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad. We there, you see, and we intend to link, because we see it's not for you. Our part of the reparation and the liberation and emancipation of us, the children of the slave, black people. And you're not business about whether I'm a Muslim or not. You're concerned of me and yourselves and others because we are black. You understand? And I love that. So I'm going to spend my time reaching and come with some solidarity in that field. So I got a base to hook myself with in alignment. You understand? So give thanks to those of you who are showing appreciation already. Danny, enough respect, keep posting the thing for me. You understand? And let the love light shine bright. So some of you want to know, say, what me I mean by Nero. Nero was a Caesar of Rome. Yeah? It was an emperor, it was a Caesar. And him disregard his mother. You understand? Him love her, he want to sex her. Hey, it was a dangerous youth. You understand? And then he want to bring changes and he want to leave a legacy and want to be anointed as a god. So one day him come up with an idea, and the idea was to burn down the city, burn up the place. You understand? To ashes and resurrect something that is him. You understand? So him had this craziness going on in him. And now we have him son, just in resurrect a son here in England. So you see, when you deal with symbolism and you have good teaching, you understand? And you read plenty. You see? I'm going to talk Bible, You read plenty. You will see symbolism. And you see how these people construct them things. Then you will understand you don't have a problem. The biggest problem we have is ourselves. Listen to The World is in Trouble. Dennis Brown. Now look how the trouble is. They said they weren't insisting or they weren't reacting to Iran for regime change. Listen to the language that has been uttered subtly. And then watch them talk about international waters and people have sovereignty and Britain is over here into the Thames in the Atlantic region. And them all the way across there in the Arab Sea, the Arabian Sea. But they're backed by a little clown, a Saudi clown. So all of you black opposition that want to tell we say that we are Arabs, you understand the thing, right? No one dealt with the human rights and the injustices that they inflicted on Libya and Yemen. The Saudis was given a blind eye to go and beat up my people, our people. Hundreds of thousands, millions of children and elders have died and are suffering. And these are Muslims. Let me tell you again, these people are Muslims. See? But the custodian of the house, which is the Al Saud family, which is backed by Britain, create those atrocities. Just like them killed the journalists. And all you see is a lot of friendship with Trump. And then over here you find, say, Labour get kicked, charged for anti-Semitism, this, that, and the other. And the whole party get mashed up. Get weak. Them frivolous. Because of people strike, them see an opportunity. And them just grab it by the jugular vein and put them foot straight in a man's chest. There's no coming back for that party. There's no coming back. And if you know conservative, you know, say, economics. You know that. Those of you who live in England, not those of you who pretend. See? Because you have some jackass who's here, but they're pretensive. Them not here. Them bodies are here. Them not here. So you see best now? Me there. Yeah, me there, man. Watch it. If me get one listener, it's better than having 1,000. But I will finish up in a 2-month time with more than 1,000. Caribbean, hey, wanna pay attention, you know? Yeah. Cause we lose lives every day. Chua. Lost for what Caucasian them do. And them seduce with into criminality. Yeah. Trinidad, drugs. Barbados, drugs. Guns, Grenada, drugs. Grenada was one of the highest educational island in the region. They mashed that up. Kill Bishop and everybody of his party. It hasn't recovered. No, it's diminishing. And a critical stage in our existence. Now the Africans are coming out to call we and attract we to come home. What kind of backing or status do we have? Pure rotted, jump boat, skin out, and all kind of people like that. It's them type of people that want to run go the continent and set up our bashment dance and all kind of rotted. That's what we're left with. Because them break the backbone of the intelligence of our regions. And the man that's responsible for social science and developing that and orchestrate that, him just dead. And someone don't like me saying that, to hell with you, man. Come bring argument to me. You understand? Me's an argumented rascal boy. Seen? Easy best. Talk. Hey, my family, don't worry yourself. Me in control of my emotion. But you see, outside here, legal.
All the things they say and the things they do.
Legal. Yo, this is a special request, you know. All my London brethren them. You see all SLR and them station there, Station FM and them station there. You must bow for me, you know. Seriously. Because you know, say, me is a matter to a long time in the areas them. You must give me a squeeze. Saying? Everyone want to say, me I beg for it? Yeah, man. Give me a squeeze. Saying? So the time that me I chuck it, when I mustn't come on too hard. See? So let people them hear when me I try project. See? Because this is North East London. You see? The man them over Brixton, you know, I saw them cooperate. The man them down a Craven Park and them place it. I saw them cooperate in a Star. See? The one them over Peckham, I saw them cooperate. See? So I am your son who don't know me long time. Social welfare and community work. The real community work. 30 years. This is best. Me not change. Don't worry about clothes. My religion is Al-Islam. That's the difference when I can know about me. You understand? And when I know say me humble with everyone I know. You see it there? And when I know say that me big and proud to be independent. So I'll me tell you, little Andy and Cowboy. You understand? Just give me a little squeeze. So the people them know say, me a juggle. Not hustle, me a juggle with the intelligence. We juggle with information. We juggle with classroom. See? That me ask you know. And every week me I go ask you know that. Because if you don't give me that favor, you understand? Things will resonate. Because I no money me depend. And the money me depend. I mean I change nothing and I try to create some new spiritual order. Them things are bullshit. It's bullshit. Waste of time. I'm not a Dr. York student and not like that. I don't belong to no fraternity, but Al-Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And one thing I must also know, I only support the fact of the Nation of Islam look after black people. But I'm not a follower of the Nation of Islam. Because the Nation of Islam is a follower of man. You see? God for me is not a human being and can never be. God have to eat, sleep, man sleep, eat, and rest. You understand? The creator that set that sun up there, so don't sleep and rest. Don't wear pajamas and all this something. You understand me? So I'm not in that. You see? I'm a regular. You see? So when you listen best, you know, no say that, hey, it's still me. Because when me bust my tune them, you know it's still me. See? Me not change. But I want you to change. Not you just say close, the concept. What day we just look on the WhatsApp. A child dies. The family are bury them son. Them family. They are burying them child. And somebody come and kill the brother of the same boy. Listen, from the same family. And we are that. Is we are doing that. That actually happened. That actually happened. Now you flip that switch and turn the other side, just 40 degrees to right it. There's another janazah, another funeral. And the batty riders and all the bashment and all them something, they're going. And it's a funeral procession. It's a funeral procession. And people that take these things as joke. As joke. So where you think the world look upon us and see? Satan's followers. No dignity, no morals, no etiquette, no nothing. And some people love that because what? Money. You're foolish. Too stupid. Too stupid. And then you have some popularity radio station. I support them type of... Listen, man. Reggae music was held in a higher esteem even though the man them don't want it play. What changed that? Them see that commercially it's advantageous to make money. And then infiltrate it. And them change the principles of it. Them change everything. But you all don't see that. Because you try to make money and follow them. Sinful people. Yeah? You don't spot it. It's not you don't spot it. You don't care about it. It's a hustle. I'm not part of that. I could never be part of that. Neither my family. No, we're not part of that.
and the things they do. You don't have to prove yourself in the eyes of others. Can't stop me from loving you, oh baby. All the try they try without a reason why.
Yo, one thing I want to make people remember now. We had a young man there from Hackney. He's died. I mean, I will just try search for him name. But I can see him anytime I think about him. And I got to tell you no. That young man there, and him organization set up the Free Mandela at Wembley. So someone know, I was now going to start remembering who him is. The youth they do them something there to make us stand together strong in solidarity for Winnie Mandela and our movement to make us and everybody do not forget the ANC and the plight and the struggle of the ANC and also her husband. And this is London now, this is England, and that young man, him get a whole heap of people them together and do this thing, and he was fascinated by the underground hip hop and them thing there. Him love Rakim and all of them guy there, all them man there, and Grandmaster Flash and all them man there. You understand? The brother bring Salt and Pepper them cross here. Salt and Pepper is three sisters them, and one of them play that control the decks them, and the other two, all of them rap, but one play the decks and put things together and everything, you know. Yeah, wicked. No, the reason I tell you that now, you see that same group there? One Askanaki Zionist tried to infiltrate them and eventually did. Them get two but not one. And then put them in a tub naked with him to make video. All of a sudden now part of a promotion sale tip. And that same thing happened to hip hop. Overground, underground, side ground, everywhere. And then the nastiness and vulgarity and all the pornography and all them something that start happening. Big time. And take a black thing and turn it into decadence. When I never say, and then you have one group now decide to be like Al Capone and all these geezers, Elliot Ness and these geezers. And them start shot one another. At the same time, those who the man give them money, all you can see them doing is putting money about women's breasts and in them panty and all kind of something. And throwing drinks all over people. And these are videos that went out. That's how them turn with. And it was done subtle, quick, sharp, and give them enough money. And then you see a whole heap of people jumping around, gyrating on cars. The biggest car dealership was giving the most expensive car just to drive 100 meters. To what? Entrap other young people in mind. But we weren't paying attention. Because there's some people that just don't understand, you know. Them love movie. And they don't realize that them taking a reality, but them take it a reality. Them love movie. And all those things happen. Wham to the hip hop. Even the R&B. Them come and them suck the morals, them suck the righteousness, them suck us dry. Now you have your little Wayne and all these different people and the little Kims that, hey, listen, the people them do everything. Turn that upside down, inside out and mash it. Corrupt it. Where did they leave us? We're not talking about money. We're talking about our dignity. We're talking about the morals. We're talking about the Faraday. We're talking about the Malcolms. We're talking about the Elijah Muhammad. We're talking about all the people them that come to set us free, to give us some dignity, to give us, raise us up higher than our families, our ancestors them did, and maintain that. One to it. One to it. They pretend them that when I could not see and recognize. Chua, DJ, money, no star. Can't work that way. Then you're just like the pastor. Eh? The pastor take the church them and turn the thing upside down because they show you say enough away. Eh? Batty boy, pedophile, misuse of girls and of wife. What's that? What is that? And they can see all the disease that will take place, but yet still them supposed to be, well, yeah, it's not Christ, because them said Jesus. So we need to sit back and ask ourselves a question. What is actually happening? Who's the one that's influencing us? Who's changed us? That's what I'm keep asking. Who's doing these things to us? We've been seduced by mammon. And we run for it. And we don't care damn. And now we have big problem. Our children do not stab someone in them hand or them foot. Them stabbing straight in them heart. Them should be heart surgeons. They're murderers. And they're ours. What? Just because you never sex a woman and she conceive? They're ours. Just because someone book you for a dance and you get £1,000, it is better than sitting back and say, well, watch it, we're going to strike. No one strike for nothing. No, everybody a lie about them sexuality. Undercover. Shit, boy, me I tell you. Mr. Best, easy. Here we go again. Big out. Talk to the people then for me, man. You know what I mean? Jai out.
The work of the Lord is perfect, and the coming of his judgment is soon.
Hey, you see me? You hear that? Jai out. Talk to them properly, man.
The work of the Lord is perfect, and the coming of his judgment is soon. Make haste while you may.
You see? That's the difference between me and others. I mean, I blow my trumpet because me's always been like this. When I play my sound, it thinks it's a 12 tribe of Israel sound. Everybody grow to hear 12 tribe of Israel and a Naya Bingi sound. You see? Me never follow them at that which my grandmother and my grandfather, all of them, put inside of me. That's how me like it. I never follow nobody. Me shape it that way there. You see? So I have to say them because what? Them grounded me. And then the good reggae music come and me hear. Just use my ears. And I choose. I choose. And even though me a Muslim, I sit down for my tune them. Because my tune them don't talk about the nastiness. So I know say that me have a Bible, or a book, or Psalms. Me know that. I don't need nobody to tell me. Me know that. I knew that long time. I know it now. And I love it. No imam is going to transform me from that. You understand? If anything, me would liberate him. But we, that's it. When I sell on myself, big out.
Tomorrow is another day. Don't take a war against him, mother. Why would you even fight against him, brother? It's in Babylon, Lord, Jaja children. So you got to love them well. It's in Babylon, Lord, Jaja children. So you got to love them well. And watch it only time will tell. In Babylon, Lord, Jaja children. And what you got to love them well. Say him take a vote against him mother. Move ya! Don't come to fight against him brother. Why would take a vote against his mother? Just to go and fight out him brother. It's a trial and tribulation and pure persecution. Trial and tribulation and pure prostitution. Babylon knows that our children. Why me say?
See? No matter what people try to do, you know, they can't do me nothing, man. It's too important. Listen.
If you can't do for yourself what the white man is doing for himself, don't say you're equal with the white man. That's right. If you can't set up a factory like he sets up a factory, don't talk that old equality talk. Who are you? You don't know. Don't tell me Negro, that's nothing. What were you before the white man named you a Negro? And where were you? And what did you have? What was yours? What language did you speak then? What was your name? It couldn't have been Smith or Jones or Bunch or Powell. That wasn't your name. They don't have those kind of names where you and I came from. No, what was your name? And why don't you now know what your name was then? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did he take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? What did the man do to make you as dumb as you are right now? This is American justice. This is American democracy. And those of you who are familiar with it know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail. But if you can't prove that a democracy is not hypocrisy, then don't put your hands on me. Democracy is hypocrisy. If democracy means freedom, why aren't our people free? If democracy means justice, why don't we have justice? If democracy means equality, why don't we have equality?
See? There's a whole heap of we frightened. Frightened. And then when they meet you on the street, they want to talk about black expression. Hypocrite. Can't work. It don't work here. Principle. Relax and listen.
We believe this is the time in history for the separation of the so-called Negroes and the so-called white Americans. We believe the black man should be free in name as well as in fact.
Now, why may I play the ones them about name? Someone asked the question, how far do they want us to go? How far do we want them to go? Which is the whole Caucasian governments with reparation. So I said, I want my name as far as we name. You know what that does politically and legally? That shows the fact that them still own we, because the names we have, whether it's Bess, Smith, Joseph, and everything, belong to their ancestors who enslaved our ancestors, and we still have those names. We still carry those names. Mr. McIntosh. Who the backside is McIntosh? And who's Mr. Smith? And who's Mr. Jones? And who's Mr. Murphy? It's like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And a whole heap of African, Pan-Africans that tell people, say, the Bible come out of Africa. Them people are crazy. They're crazy. They must follow somebody else. They don't read for themselves. They have no understanding. How can Nkrumah sound like John and Matthew? Which language is that? Which language is that? And then you want to associate it with your ancestors. So that means your ancestors were never enslaved. Them them put themselves voluntarily there, and they never liked them mother and father, and them say, watch, I don't want to name Ajoko and so forth. So I go down there and become Smith and Jonathan and Mac Murphy and these things. You understand? Even Ching and Chang. But someone when I laugh, but you're a fool, where you laugh at? Think about it. Think about it carefully. Think about it carefully. Then find out how come we have so much rotten eggs. Eh? No matter we do 2 good things over here, we have 10 rotten eggs to rot it. You understand? And then we still can't have no trust. Because the church belongs to the same people, them. Everything that we do, right? We mix up. We mix up. We mix up. Nobody not try to make a clean cut so you can have morals, values, and a rich culture which we have. And if we look across the continent, we can see it. But no, the people them show you that Africa look despicable, so you don't want to associate with it. You don't want to look past what they show us. So just like the Bible, they make the film the Bible. So who's the people that love it most? We fall into the trap. Symbolic messages. But the teacher them out there don't talk about these things. So they prohibit you from reading. And even though you read, they don't explain the words. What them trying to do is Jim Screechy jump hula hoops all across the book. No one puts up them hand and say, hold on a minute, how did you know all of that? Why do you associate Genesis with Ephesians? Why do you associate Ephesians with Revelation? Why do you associate Revelation with this John and then Paul? How come? Who gave you the authority for that? And how is that done? If you're talking about truth and it's in Isaiah, let's deal with that. How you get up to Genesis now to hook, line, and sink up this truth? You're an idiot. And yet still, we all went to the same school, the same educational institution. So, who's doing what? Impressing upon each other that they know something to which they don't know. To which we don't know. So, leave their thing and find ours. At that may I say. Leave their thing and find ours. Whether you want to see that is in the Durgans, whether you want to see it in the Watusi, whether you want to see it in the Pygmy, whether you want to see it in the Gwa, listen, they belong to us. It's rich. Don't be afraid if you have to learn to read Kiswahili. Don't be afraid. How come a small community set of people decide to change for them name? Them change it. But someone's recognized that trend and train of thoughts that the Kwame Ture and the Melika Shabazz and all these people had was going to set us mentally free. Not just intellectually, mentally. So them scheme something. And what them do? Them get right in the heart of the thing that kept us bounded, that kept us with ourselves, kept us entertaining ourselves, and then moving on our plain amusement. They're moving on it. And over here in England, they're moving the same way. Them take with sound system thing and turn it into world clash and all kind of something and come like football league and everything. And some people look upon it and say the brighter side of thing, and not realizing that the connection that music give us and that liberation and that emancipation that it can give us is what is being taken away. You need to go to the Mau Maus. You need to go to the Uhuru and ask them a question. What had reggae music done for them? Them tell you it helped, it give them such a strength, along with what them have already, to know that outside of the continent, there is there people crying as well. But you know, those type of historical references is not being taught. It's not being taught. Not that we don't have people who know these things, but they're not being given the opportunity to teach and to voice. Because we are submerged by all these punkoots. And those people now are old. Nobody not stay young. And nobody wants to hear them, and they don't have the energy, and their bodies are falling. Some of them, their memory is because them have whatever the thing called. Them suffering from it. Slowly. So what is the transition when we're not supporting the best of ourselves? There's no transition. There's a transition from life to death, with no transition from the excellence of our accomplishments to the next generation and to the next generation. So we've lost. We've lost. Now the man is trying to change morality within himself. And we're part of his civilization. We're part of his social structure. And that's going to infringe and imprint upon us. Now we're being alienated, isolated again. Because those people who fall short of that and was depending on them copyright and depending on their musical journey for their money, them lose too. So all them boy that used to push up them chests and carry on like them a bad boy and rare and everything. Now all of a sudden them a little, hey, they're little calves. They're not even puss. They're little calves. Huh? And them have to go and bend down and apologize and write new law. Huh? Write new legislation. Write new thing. New contractual arrangement. They got a reign. So if you go over here, so you mustn't say that. So what is this? The contractual agreement of Shaitan. And you've been reined in because of money and popularity. That's what's happened. You can't shit without the man telling you. So what you doing? Why you not just leave the money? Leave it and stay warm. Leave it and stay warm. Because when reggae first come, it's just we and nobody else. It was that one thing that the builder them refused. But it's not the builder, you know, because we were the builders. The so-called economical power refused to acknowledge the black man again. And it didn't harm us. Did not harm us. I remember printing thousands of that tune, Oh Margaret. And it has sell. It has sell. It's just that some of the man them that get the right to distribute, they weren't genuine. Them pocket the money and buy them house quick before them get a singer. And a musician and money. So we hustle ourselves. I know several people who lost them life to that. Them hustle the man them. And houses were being bought for 50,000 and 40,000. We sell ourselves. When I go on like, Mr. Best, mind yourself, you know. Because some people are not with you. But I'm with myself. Watch this now. Malcolm again, you know. Yeah. Medical Shabazz, sorry. Yeah.
Let us take a quick examination of some of the methods, the strategy employed by white liberals to harness and exploit.
Now you see what now? Me up there now because the man the America and the one that we just get here now, this is them. Watch it.
Let us take a quick examination of some of the methods, the strategy employed by white liberals to harness and exploit the political potential energies of the so-called Negro in America. The crooked politicians in Washington, D.C. always make a big noise over the proposed civil rights legislation. By blowing up the civil rights issue, this lends stature to the Negro civil rights leaders. And once the image of these Negro civil rights leaders has been built up way beyond their proper proportion, these same Negro civil rights leaders...
Yo, post the link out, you know. Come on, man. You have to do the work to write it. What? Just don't sit there and listen for yourself. Just post the thing out, man. You understand? Get busy while you listen.
...are then used to influence and control the Negro voters for the benefit of the white politicians
you not
who
help
pose
me,
as
you
liberals,
help
who
us.
pose as the friend of the Negro. The white liberals control the Negroes and the Negro vote by controlling the Negro civil rights leaders. As long as they control the Negro civil rights leaders, they can also control and contain the Negro struggle. They can control the Negro so-called revolt. And I must point out right here, there's no such thing as a Negro revolution. There's a black revolution, but not a Negro revolution. Who ever heard of a nonviolent revolution? Who ever heard of a peaceful revolution? Who ever heard of revolutionaries standing up like chumps with locked arms singing, "We shall overcome"?
You know what? The pastor turn around and tell us that we should turn the other cheek. That's what the pastor tells us. The pastor turn around and tell us, ashes to ashes and dust to dust, now we're burying our son. Our sons. And we must go home quietly and leave the law to deal with the situation. And this situation is going on now 5 years. Everything's remained the same. It's just that the mayor and him brethren in the Home Office haven't issued guns and ammunition to regular police as yet. Now, the new leader has turned up. We have to watch the space on his watch. What his instructions he will give to both of them. And remember this, they're not Caucasians. So when him issue that desire, request, and then they step aside, no one can turn around and say, for them some Caucasian do this, they will tell you that it was on the Asian man watch. So now we have a bigger problem now. You see? Because some of us now would take issue with that. And want to know from them Asian people them. I saw you set the thing up for us. Now we're going to have racial discrimination problem. And already we can't eat a mussel without going to Chacha Man shop. Already. Because our so-called Commonwealth independent islands ambassadors have not suited to give us an infrastructure in England or in Canada or anywhere on this earth. Them just left we as so-called British. And we not integrate with nothing. So where we gonna run to? Where we gonna get this food from? All of a sudden. Where's the supermarkets? All of a sudden. You see? Racial infringement. And we're the one that's impoverished. But yet still, we have money. We're not independent. We're consumers. What we're going to eat? Mashed potato or chips? Same potato. What are we going to do? Not thinking. Where are you? Were you trying to understand? Look ahead. Where are you? Were you trying to be responsible for your children? Were you? Were you actually wanting to be a father or sperm donor? Which one? Leadership, safe environment. But we have money. No, we don't. We have to have several 9 nights to try and raise the money to pay for the funeral parlor and then pay for the cemetery. Check ourselves. Really and truly. See? At them thing we come for stir up. So people can just get active and start think and realize we're not in a good state. No matter how the rass you drive boat, say about you drive boat in a BM and all them something. We're not in good state. We're not in good state at all. We are fool ourselves. We're not. We're not in a good state. See? And we are the ones that bear the brunt of everything that will take place very soon. Had I didn't know, if I did know, it's some things I cry far, far too late. Yeah? Yeah, if I did know. The thing done execute already. So what is it that you needed to know? That you don't know already? That we are playing games with life. We're playing games with life. Want to play some tune for no? Should I really? You know what I mean? Because we need to divert and reactivate my strategy. Yeah. Watch this.
Amor Production.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What a rass you're doing. Don't bother do that. So, people, we're going to move on to something because the real issue is this, you know. Without an infrastructure, right? Without an infrastructure in the diaspora, without joint cooperation, we're nothing. Look what they've done to Venezuela. Huh? The Venezuelan didn't interfere in nobody. It's only that Chavez is gone, and this new man that come there the other day in the America decide that he might go do what he want to do. You see? And because of that structure, you see, them can flex and do what they want to do, how they want to do it. And they're revenging the fact that Chavez kept them out for so long. Right. Our children now is asking the question, who the hell is Chavez? What is he talking about? See? And that's because we don't have an institution so that the children them can learn and recognize this conversation, who Chavez was and so forth. Right? So it's just like in Sudan. Sudan is in a mess. But me not hear nobody shout out, say, well, let me take Bashir to the Hague. Nah, we not hear that, right? Me not want them to take Bashir to the Hague, but Bashir, if they were doing something really, then we should hear say that they have captured Bashir and them taking Bashir, or Bashir is being handed over to the World Court Organization, and he be standing trial for human rights violation and every other issue that them put up there. But it never happened. It hasn't happened. You see? So you have to look at the hypocrisy. But the infrastructure here now, our needs should be understood by ourselves. What is that? We need health. We need medical health, because we have the physicians. We need to have supermarket. We need a banking system, a Caribbean bank, right? Our African and Caribbean bank. We need those things. We need those things like right now. We don't need to wait for someone to turn around and tell us that it's not feasible at this present time and so on. We need those things now. The other part is that our aging population needs to be looked after. So we don't need homes, we need care. Yeah, we need care. You see? But the care that we also need is those who have the understanding of economics, finance, not the scammers, the one that can come and advise the family all about their parents' superannuation and their pensions. Not them wicked children that want to become children or acknowledge their parents because them see a possibility of them having some money. We have that problem. Don't need to try and dash it on the carpet. We have that problem. We have that problem big time. So there's a lot of things that we need to do in terms of developing this infrastructure. So I am saying that with even the young lady that me play earlier on, there's so much of them in the diaspora that is highlighting so much issues, so much concerns for our upliftment and development at this time. And it's very important that we pay attention to these things because it is for our benefit. And we need to seize the opportunity. No, not later. No. As them say, now the iron is hot. Yeah? But we need to do that. And we can. Also, we need to have a good look at what Africa is offering. Study it. Examine it carefully. And make headway within that. Because it's all about going back. But it's not just about going back. It's about realizing that they've acknowledged us. So since that be the case, we need to engage with them. Who's them? With our African counterparts. Yeah. With our African counterparts in the diaspora and those at home. You see? and institution of learning. We need that, because without that, how can we pass on any information to our children? What is it that we're going to leave them with? We have to have visionaries. We have to take from the past as well as the present and inform them. So transitions are meaningfully. We're not to talk about transition, a new genre come, call it dancehall. No. So there's so much things that we have to do. There's so much recognition. But then also we need to park up. Me personally, I'm saying park the pastors them up. If them don't want to change and become shepherd, park them up. Move them out, man. Forcefully move them out. You see? Because them had their time, they ain't done nothing. They ain't done nothing. All they come and keep colonialism going. And just come with theological practices continually. Continually. Give me all these stories about European people. And they defend Paul more than anybody on this earth. They don't defend them mother and father, grandmother and grandfather, in any which way at all. Them defend Paul, they represent Paul. Them talk for Paul Torati like them had a conference with him, like he was their teacher. Them sit there with him. Them represent these things. He said, but the Muslims said, no, listen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what give we. Paul, the prophet, not give we. We analyze the prophet life. You see? And that's called, you have this thing supposed to be the gospel, which is the hadith of Christ, of Isa alayhi salam. We have the hadith of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his sayings and his actions. But they're not our guiding principles for worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are our guiding principles of how to deal with exchanges with damn gone human beings. You see, there's a big difference. And what the world has prohibited us from doing is living according to the laws and the tenets of Al-Islam as a community, as a people universally. But many of us do. We just don't shout about it. You understand? Many of us do. You see? So there's a whole heap of thing. But I'm going to give you a break and bust some tunes them. Start with the Ethiopians. Yeah, I can start giving us some of the artists them. Because what they know with upon the Facebook, I select them wild, you know. You see that Aisha gone from me. High grade of peep. Him do some juicing right now. Navigator postcode, him still there because him say him have to embrace Topnon and them places, them area there, make them people and realize them supposed to support we and we support them, and you know, unification. Not that we were separate, you know, it's just that them they on the radio, we not they on the radio. Right now we they on a medium, so we they on the medium, so we want them to do things. So anyway, so yeah, so we have to look upon bright lights. Bright lights I look upon him like the spotlight shining bright. He want to beat up IRFM. Nah, style. This was to stay with GT Taylor. All right. So it's them things there with there with. And we're due to have a conference, not a conference, we're due to have a family gathering. So we can sit with the families and speak to the young people them and ask them exactly, listen to them, but ask them a question as what is it that's happening to them? What are their fears? And what is it that they want? What would they like to have? You understand? As young teenagers just coming out of their cots. That's what we need to understand. These are children. They just come out of primary school. Them just start secondary school. See? And that way we'll find out why some of the parents them have problem. Because the people them that give birth and the man that do him do, they don't qualify to be parents. There's people there that they don't have a clue. We have to be real. See? So we're going to be doing those things, and yeah, I feel comfortable. But we're going to talk to our children them and talk to some of the families them in a sports arena, you know. And the catchment would be that people them see, oh, me, you know, Mr. Bessier, or I coach the children them, or I mentor the children them, whilst I'm teaching them, developing their skills in the game of basketball, or we prepare them for college and university, or we prepare them for the A-level pursuit, you see? How we get them ready at year 9 for early entry. We are telling a secret, and the blasted secret, or something that you all should know. You understand? And you supplementary schools, you should get the children them up to full speed, have SAT tests done ready, and so on. And at year 9, help the families them, pay the money, early entry, and you see them get a bushel of GCSEs, A stars, well ahead. Because what you suppress them for? You see? So now just help you. What are you going to do? Are you going to say, hey, see that bearded guy that always on a hype with the music? That idea we get from him. That's what many of you have done. And that I stifle things me I say. Run with it and don't see where the backside you get it from. Huh? But then you turn around and say that I'm too crude. Crude your backside. You're an idiot. You spend too much time in England. You make your money. You go around and keep making money and not helping the people them. The young people them should take set for no. You understand? Because when I help them, you help yourself. You good at 60 rated 5. You get a pension from work. You get a government pension. You get your work employment rated pension, nearly £500,000, and you still get your government pension because you're clock 65 and plus, and you still rated taking money from your own people them, yeah, to lectures and so forth. Who's the hustler now? Michael X or Uno? Which one? Which one? When you must phone me to rated and qualify with yourself. Who's the hustler then? You see? And all them group them out there that him help from Labrador Grove and them places there. Which ones are hustlers? Him or Uno? Because many of the group people them still have the equipment. Yes? You see? So who's hustling who? And what have you given back to the community in the meantime? Nothing. You just set up yourself. Trying to be bombastic. Yeah? I'm going to show you how to do it. Listen. Listen carefully. YouTube. You see, we represent proper things. You see what I mean? We live cross here. Every week we are going to drop something from cross the diaspora. But we live cross here. And our energy is on both the streets and the life that we should be orchestrating and the directions that we should be going. That's what this is about. Things in Time, Cultural Expression, roll up in one. YouTube. We just dip on YouTube. We soon go international. Watch it. Yo, Danny. Floyd. Principal. Families. Caribbean. This is the Ethiopians. Slave call. Think we don't know music? Listen. time is a lesson well learned.
I don't have a red cent to pay.
Easy, Naya Bingi.
Got my own to reach and I'll reach it one day. 'Cause we were taken away by force, scattered all around the Caribbean coast.
See why we're so bossy? Because we believe. See? We believe in what we are attempting to do. We believe in our true existence. And we love our heritage. And we love our family. And we love our grandparents. See? That's natural. We don't love no rotted money to back them. We have the effectiveness, in efficiency, in our being. You understand? So even if it's a scripture that can highlight our appreciation for their well-being, we will put it there. We don't care where it come from. Once it is something that shows our affection, you see, and that our children need. Is that what them need? They don't need skin out and decadence. 24/7, 365. No. Rubbish that. You should be ashamed to be black. You understand? Only parasites do them ratty thing there. Watch it, Mr. Best, you know. The Ethiopians. Facebook, we soon come over your side. Because we know how to. You understand? Yeah, we know for hook up. YouTube, salute. Yeah. An education from a different direction. I tell you. We are going to set up the college. Right now with your high school.
I don't have a red cent to pay. I've got my own to reach and I'll reach it one day.
Tell them, principle.
'Cause we were taken away by force, scattered all around the Caribbean coast. Not a cent to pay. Yes, I've got to reach home one day. Yes, it was 400 years ago. They took us from our homeland, as you should know.
Hook, line, and sink. Listen.
Yes, with the slave chain still on our hands, they leave us here to work on their plantation.
Ketty, bongo.
But Nayaman say no,
Bingy drums.
not a cent to pay.
Far right chanting.
Yes, I've got to reach home one day. Zion, 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 Zion.
Yo, I will not forget Grenfield, you know. You understand? The place burned down. Hey, them put it up high. Now them a sit in the back room and I try work out a thing and then go and see this body and then let a lot of people gone. You know what I mean? The fire chief and everything. Oh gosh, man. And the situation's still the same. Listen, 90.
Blood, 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 blood and fire. Blood, blood,
a reality check. You did from with high school.
No more water to out the fire. There is no more water.
Set the postcode.
To out the fire.
High grade. You're going good? No? Let the ginger man. You should have started the ginger first. Until.
Blood, 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 blood and fire. Blood, 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 blood and fire.
The ginger act is a preservative.
There is no more water to out the fire. There is no more water to out the fire.
Drop it. Listen. Listen how we going.
Your motor solo, call the blood on fires, I will play. You got to tell your motor solo. Still fire, Mr. Finnegan. Still fire, Mr. Finnegan. Say that you want Mr. Finnegan. Still your bad.
Yo, Islington, when I first share the tip with people, you know. Yeah, man. Hackney too. When I first share the link with people. Saying. Tell them say another dance room, a classroom. Nah. The fire, Mr. Fire, yo. The fire, fire. Fire. I know. We have to tell them, say the talkathon best did about. That's how you have to tell them, you know. And then a dance, a school, a music, school, and lecture school. See? We want righteousness and we want to come out to this decadence and we want to come out to this killing. We want back with sanity.
Mr. Fire, Mr. Fire. You want the fire, fire, fire. Fire! If you burn your with the yate. Mr. Fire, look at that. Fire, fire, fire. The fire burns out. Burn down there. If I got burned down there. See that dead man stuff is strong. A life man need potato raw.
Big yo.
You got to live no man no. I never made no fire burn. I know.
And mercy has gone.
We can't feel it, yo. I'm through the blood on fire. Fire. Why? Fire burn them. If it burn you with the heart, fire, look at that. Fire, the fire. I want the fire. The whole lot of fire down the rooms, I would say. Rastafari, to the fires, I would fire.
See why me have to play that on principle selective fire? And nobody can burn me no fire, no. You understand? No. Number one, me's not a Rasta. I used to be a Rasta, and I don't have nothing against Rastafari. See it? But anyone who thinks in him say, fire upon him. Burn yourself. Don't try to dispatch no fire upon me. You understand? You can use them type of talk. You know say it go come back upon you. You understand? Watch how you deal with the thing because you have glass house to rot it. You see? Watch it. I'm not going to tell you no. Watch it. You see? Hear what me have to say about that now. Max Romeo, talk to the people, man.
Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. Every tongue confess. Every tongue confess. Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. The coming of Jah is near. If you have eyes, you will see. If you have is near. Jah shall wipe away all tears from my eyes. Jah shall wipe away all tears from my eyes. When I reach in Zion, all troubles will be over. Jah shall wipe away all tears.
Max Romeo and the Nine Finger Man.
Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess.
We do it different.
Confess. Every tongue confess. Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. I said they're coming up.
Listen. Yo, Danny, just send the link out, man. Don't worry yourself, just send it out.
Lord have mercy on the old people. Lord have mercy on the young generation.
Things in Time Culture Expression. Yes. High school. When I graduate. How would that? Principal. Listen. With them there. With them there.
With them there, with them there, with them there, bring the cochico.
Oh, you mean high grade? Watch
Make
it.
me lick it till it burn.
Yo, greetings, Principal.
Far we now go run.
Oh, you mean?
From them big long gun.
Yo, Barbados, Trinidad. I hope when I listen good, you know. You understand? We there, you know. Yeah, listen good. Evie, listen good, man. simple principle. Maestro.
Where them, they bring the cochico.
I grade. Don't refuse.
Far we now go run.
True.
From them big long gun. So bring the coachy come. Make we lick it till it burn. Far we now go run. From them big long gun.
Hey, click your box, man.
Where them, they tell me where them turn. With them big long gun. Where them really turn. With them big long gun. So bring the coachy come. Make we lick it till it burn. So bring the coachy come. Make we lick it till it burn. Bring the coachy come. Make we lick it till it gritty burn. Bring the coachy come.
Chico. Hey, anybody remember Lance from Phoebe's? Yeah, Richmond Road. If you remember, you know Sir Lance this, you know. Archie and the Saints.
Where them, they bring the coachy come.
And a song called Emperor.
Make we lick it till it burn.
And another one called President.
So bring the coachy come. Make we lick it till it gritty burn. Bring the coachy come. Make we lick it till it gritty burn. Where them,
I had me a story to me a chat about, you know. Oh.
With them big long.
Cheese! Rock on. Gregory.
Rock on, baby.
Yeah, sprinkle them out. Listen.
Baby, you set my soul on fire.
You never say gal, you know. You say baby.
So come on and give me what my heart desires.
You're true warm and tender loving.
Don't ever let this feeling grow cold. No, 'cause you're like a story that's never been told. La da 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 da. Yeah. La da 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 da.
Chris.
La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Rock on, baby.
The cool ruler.
Now sometimes I sit down and I wonder, what made you really go away? Then I would turn and say to myself, I wonder if you're really going to stay. Baby, don't leave me for another. Don't ever leave me again. Don't ever leave me for another. Yeah. 'Cause you are the sunshine.
Johnny Clark, Clean Augustus Pablo. Listen. I for waiting. When I bar it, I for waiting. See?
Somebody said they're no warrior, but I am not. When I face Rasta, they brutalize their brothers and then say them are Naya. But I know them are warrior. They criticize their brothers and scandalize their sisters. Old time people say the time longer than road. Some of them just a follow, but I.
See, we know that some people are trace we, you know. We know, say, they might try catalog we. You see? We don't care them. Because you see, where you have your collection, your collection. See? Yeah. Go on, sir.
Love is pure.
What you say again? Yeah. Love is what? Listen to the symbols, you know. Listen to the symbols. Love is who? Augustus Pablo again, Ranking Trevor.
Love is pure. But I'll say love is thing you really gotta take some cure.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give me the good music for sure, you know. What you do this day?
Tell them.
And what you say without you to say.
Tell them.
See John, we think John, so we go with them way, you know. Some of them chant please, some are chant about that. They don't do what they really get to do. We don't get pass it down, big, you don't do that.
With them.
If you see a rather do right, let's not fight. Let's stick together and do what is right there. Banu.
Could you imagine me go on Facebook, and we draw them tune there from Facebook, and all of a sudden the thing get muted? That was amazing. I couldn't conclude. And a full waiting, sadness. Sadness. Junior Degiro. Junior.
Every night you wanna go right home. Every night you
Junior.
wanna go right home.
Jokes.
Every night you wanna go right home. Every night you wanna go right home. But when the right time come, who will be there? But when the right time come, who will be there? Bongo Natty wanna go right home. Natty Dread wanna go right home. Every night you wanna go right home.
You see the man they from Cash and Carry, the man they honorable people, you know. They look after people. And once you do good with them, by them stay by you. And me is one of them. You see? Tyrone Taylor. Go on, Tyrone.
Separation is on the land everywhere. Separation is on the land.
Doom.
Oh, yeah. Separation, y'all.
High school.
How can a little child get through desperation, facing condemnation and a false accusation, 'cause no one cares?
See what I'm saying? Because no one care. And that is not true. It's just that some of us, we got our head put up on our asses. You understand? And we go and say that they control something. They not control nothing. Because you not help nobody. Yeah. You see the people that need help. It's our people that need help. You see? So me fish out, tune them. Not me. Hey, principle. Fish out, tune them. A relation to what me stand for. You understand? Him never forgo somewhere to find them. We have them. All them have to do is select them wisely, and I'm good at that. Go on. Watch it. Send us signals, principle. He went to good school, you know. You understand me? You have people out there, them call themselves DJ. Principal is not a blasted DJ, he's a selector. You understand? Him can read music. You understand? Him just don't go and copy and paste and everything and make himself like one of these jinglers. No. We are proud for what we do. By the time him come for do all them something there, it won't be that. By the time him come for do the real thing, watch and listen. You will hear it. It soon come. But not ready yet. It soon come. See it again? It not ready yet. It soon come. A different style, you know. We set trend. We're not following a rarity trend. We set them. We set them. Listen. We are proud of ourselves. No hype.
I don't matter what the hypocrites might say.
Oh, principal, we asked it to me. We must read something to write it. Watch out. Life teaches us to make good use of time, while time teaches us to value life. See? Life teaches us to make good use of time, while time teaches us the value of life. You see? Very important to understand them something there. Very important. And them parables don't come from a guy like Paul. It doesn't. You see? I may say a guy, I don't know who the hell Paul is. He have nothing to do with African. You see? It doesn't. And it don't come out to the 99 confession of the Dead Sea or whatever it is. No. It come from a righteous man. And he happened to be white.
I don't matter what the hypocrites might say.
Tell them.
I don't matter what the wicked might do.
Teach.
All I know, Jah will guide I choose.
Rasta youth.
Temptation, moderation, and tribulation.
Put it together, my brother.
Temptation,
again.
Moderation,
speak.
And tribulation.
Sin. Other you date this man you call Norman Grant and a band called the Twinkle Brothers. You see? Yes. Hey, come on, man. And the people that wake up yesterday to write it and come try to tell us about reggae music. And we touch the two little blood clot in somebody's face. And somebody get vexed. Vex your blood clot. See? That's so mistake. I'm not angry with nobody, you know. Me's a free man. Wrap up myself. No. A woman wrap herself up in her clothes. A man free. Then I wear tight pants.
I don't matter what the hypocrites might say.
Do.
I don't matter what the wicked might
Hey,
do.
family. Don't turn on the face from me, because our life is so still. Repeat that again. Norman Grant, repeat it.
Temptation, moderation, and tribulation.
Yes.
I will stand up and fight for my right. Right to the tree of life.
One dance me I did with Brother Fonzie from Birmingham with a song they call Zion. And I bust them tune there to write it, the whole place come down. But ganja was sweet. The man them not smoke it, you know. The man them make tea, ganja tea. I tell you, man, that dance is sweet. See? Oh gosh, man. And Jungle Man I kill the place with pure Twinkle Brothers. Right it. And just this one here to write it, change the whole situation. Yeah. 90. Change the whole situation.
Mercy has gone and judgment has come now.
Tell them again.
Confusion in a Babylon. Everything mixed up.
See? And that was me, you know. When people are going with them thing, and I shout and I go and get around loud and everything. I'm just there. You understand? We come from London, you know. See? Yeah, wait. Flash my thing to reality. Then I say, Baxter, where you get that one from? Yeah. Where you get that one from?
Mercy has gone and judgment has come now.
A royal in the ark I give me.
Confusion in a Babylon. Everything mixed up.
You hear the name? Alin, you know.
Fisherman row and the go slow. Go slow. No one know which way to go. Go, go. Some don't know them head from their big toe.
Tell him again.
Prophecy must fulfill.
Some are creep, some are cry.
This a Jaja will.
Some are laugh, some are cry. Some are live, some are die. Some are dilly, some are dally. Some are great, some are falling.
Mutiny and a sinking ship. Yeah.
You can't remember them tune them, man, because wow, you don't have nothing for do. Go on, Dan Crucial Carlos.
Whoa, oh yeah.
Rasta Dan Carlos.
Honey, got woke this morning by Mr. Sun shining through my window. I say hello, sun. I say hello, sun. Oh yeah.
Easy Florida, Arrows.
I was so glad to see the sun come shining through. I jumped out my bed. I've got a lot of things to do. I can't waste time. Time is so precious to me.
See? You talk about time. You see how tomorrow now? Tomorrow we bust enough people, enough listeners, enough viewers. You understand? Yeah. Watch it. Leroy Cruiser Smart.
Jah is my light and my salvation. Who shall I be afraid? Who shall I be afraid of? Oh Jah, oh Jah, Jah is mighty, He is strong. Yes, oh yeah. Let the enemies be scattered. Let them go away. Jah is gonna come again. He shall return on that day. It won't be easy. It won't be nice. Jah is my light. Oh, Jah is my life. Obey my brother, obey. What you do is so you get your pay. Give the wicked one.
I have enough of them that me mix. Same rhythm.
Jah.
Freddie. With courtesy of Bonnie Crucial Striker Lee. He is in. Chalk Farm Studio, still passenger.
Jah.
African history down at Bullmarsh College, their readings, and me again. You know what I'm saying? Freddie Crucial McGregor. That's it.
The wicked never know themselves until the prophecy fulfill on them. The wicked never know themselves until the prophecy fulfill on them. Marvel not for what.
See, when I talk about Just Sufferer and them sound there, you think some men not there? You understand? The man they just come and play them tune because Sufferer had a lot of money. The owner had a lot of money, and Dennis Bovell from Mutumbi, him select him and Natty and Graham. You see? But high society give them too much chances. Watch it, the jewels. And we're talking about Metro Club, you know, Metro Youth Club, the Elaborate Grove, Westbourne Park. Find your space.
I saw the wicked they tried to captain I. They shall stumble and fall.
Birmingham. Mr. Quaker City, Mafia Tone.
Anywhere you see your children, them a go. You leave them alone, sir. You got to leave them alone. You got to leave them alone. Even in the time of old, even in Jesus' time.
Sweet reggae music. Ja'ai. Don't you stumble and fall. Ja'ai. Watch it. Hey, you see the selector Tarati, the selector confused the Facebook people? No. The Facebook people have a different problem. So when we come back this one, you're going to see that things got normal, so we got international. But here what I'm now, YouTube, you see them tune there? Don't give the people them every tune that me play now. You understand? Because some people just sit down and wait. They are waiting, and them I use them phone for that thing that something that try to fine tunes them. So I mean I know. But don't worry, man, don't feel away. Rhythm, Easy Moses. Moses. The first red light. I know I said tomorrow Tarati don't go sit down and censor the thing. Yeah, I soon live stream it, man. Put it on one of them timelines, something, then you get it good. Yes, Caribbean, keep cool with your son. Moses. Tripping. Easy. And the dreadlocks this, you know. Mr. Crucial, Rockers International, Jacob Miller. See? hear the introduction?
Moses was a dreadlocks. A naughty dreadlocks.
I mean, I get no more of that till Rotted Friday, because when I just go find it and just make nice about how you got it. You ain't got nothing. Yeah, Nicky. Oh. Have a little faith, eh? My mother loved them tune, you know. And my sisters. The whole family. Sweet tune.
You know the days are cold and the nights are so long, yeah. And I just need this little woman who I could call my very own. But some of her friends told her bad things about me, and I just need this little woman to believing and to a little bit of faith. Good God, keep the faith, baby. One more. You know, I went to her house on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, I took one look at that woman's face, and
British,
you know that everything was gone.
African Caribbean musicians, you know. Yeah, reside here in London.
From someone that she knew. They told her bad things about me, and I knew it would be so. A little bit of faith, good God. Keep the faith, babe. God of mercy. You know I need you, and I want you. I got to have you, baby, right by my side. I don't wanna see the teardrops falling from your eyes. Oh no.
Sweet voice.
Don't let nobody break it down, baby.
There are some people of today
Jackie Brown.
are trying to cut me off, but through the powers of the Most High God, I'm not gonna fall. Yes, it's through the powers of the Most High God, I'm not gonna fall. Why they think that they are smart? They would like to break my heart, but through the powers of the Most High God, they are gonna fall. Yes, it's through the weakness of the wicked heart, they are gonna fall. Tell them. Give it to them now. One more
With the
time.
courtesy of Sir Collins.
There are some who carry news, 'cause they would like a drink of booze, but through the powers of the Most High God, they are gonna fall. Yes, it's through the weakness of the wicked heart, they are gonna fall. Though you see them laugh with you,
Mr. Macintosh.
Turn around by you. Jump out of frying pan. You're bound to jump in a fire. When I were with you, look how you're big and fat, girl. And now you look like a rain wet rat. Girl, away from me. Me no one to see you no way. Sorry, Magada. I'm say Magada, turn round by you. Jump in a fire. See you come from country in a country truck. Tell me say you a look little wap. Yeah, away over there. Me no want to see you round here. Sorry, Magada. I'm say Magada, turn round like you. Jump out the frying pan. You're bound to jump in a fire. Tell me, say you a look a little walk. Girl, go away from me. Me no want to see you round me. Sorry, Magada. Magada, turn around, bite you. Yeah. Jump out the frying pan. You're bound to jump in a fire. Yeah. Put that in a white shirt. Me say him bound to wallow in a mud. Walla in a mud, my gosh. Sorry, Magada. Magada, turn around by you. Jump out the frying pan. Say you're bound to jump in a fire. Put that in a white shirt. Say him bound to walla in a mud. Put that in a I can't stand this no longer. The wicked get stronger. I can't stand this no longer. The battle's getting hotter. They must get a beating. One time they must get a beating. Oh, bag a beating. Yeah. They must get a beating. I said don't you wait till your back is against the wall. Just one step to progress, and I know Jah will help you on. Good God, you have to get a beating. Alright, they must get a beating. I won't bag a beating. Them can't get away. I said don't you wait till your back is against the wall. Just one step to progress, and I know Jah will help you on. I said they must get a beating. Alright, they must get a beating. Round there, oh, man, a beating. They must get a beating. Have to get a beating. Must get a beating. A whole back a beating.
Freddie.
I was just a lonely man sitting out there in my easy chair. When you came along, you really come on strong. You wanted my loving, but you didn't get it then. What are you saying right now? Are you sure? Are you sure? 'Cause you're playing with fire. Say you shouldn't tease my love. Say you shouldn't tease this girl. Say you shouldn't tease my love. Don't tease it 'cause it's red like a fire.
Big Ship, Freddie McGregor.
You see me passing, you're always doing something, trying to attract me. Right now, please tell me what you're saying. Are you sure? Are you ready? Do you know what you're doing? Say you shouldn't tease my love. Say you shouldn't tease this girl. Say you shouldn't tease my love. Don't tease it 'cause it's hot, it's hot. You're making my desire growing higher. Whoa.
Clifton, you're sweet. As a musician, man.
I was just a lonely man sitting out there in my easy chair. When you came along, you really come on strong. You wanted my loving, but you didn't get it then. What are you saying right now? Are you sure? Are you sure? 'Cause you're playing with fire. Say you shouldn't tease my love. Say you shouldn't tease this girl. I'm a
Listen.
singer man.
Listen.
Singer man. I'm a singer man. Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carry me. Thank you, mama, 'cause you never trouble me. Thank you, mama.
See? Thank you, mama. So how the hell that people can go around and see them sister them, put a camera up underneath them, have the spot, the light them bright and everything, encourage them to come to the place naked, then play some disgusting vulgarity in terms of what is supposed to be music. Eh? And you're having a jolly good time. You're mad. You understand? Anyway, Barry Brown, we use Barry Brown as Things and Times, you know? And then we go on Facebook, thing get mute. So we have to put Barry Brown upon rest and go African Brothers and play the African Brothers and Things and Times. Never got mute. Find it very difficult to understand what the hell is taking place, right? So the rhythm track belong to the same family. It's only that the artist that sung on it, the first one that me run, was Barry Brown. But the rhythm track belonged to the African Brothers, i.e. Sugar Miner, Tony Tough, and them Monday. So I couldn't understand, really. So sometimes I try fuck them off and come back again and everything. Every time I just them hear the sound, Barry Brown, them hear the vocal, Barry Brown, something happen. And Barry Brown, God bless him soul, him passed long time. You see? Long time. It's not to say that because someone passed that people can just take liberty with them things, because them have family, and the family have a right to draw royalties and everything from the amplification of their material. That's natural. But I find it strange. And then we play some other Barry Brown and nothing happened. So we have to ask ourselves really and truly, is there somebody pining or someone just try create problems, you know? So we lift off that now and try do another thing, and we just go play all kind of different tune them and everything, and don't bother play nothing belong to the distributor them, Nothing belong to the producers them and all them people that principal I work with. And find say that nothing change. And the people them that give a white flag will find say that their stuff never get muted. So we do a analytical vision of the thing and so forth, and we work upon the thing. And then all of a sudden we find say my brethren, 14th of June in Earth Strong, see? And I and the sister, we there upon the station, we there upon line, and it's the 14th, it's a Friday, and we are shocked out. So I decided that we are play all the promoter and all the distributors and all the producers, them tune them, and we are going to fire a blank shot cross Jamrock at GT Taylor, because there was some tune in there make for GT Taylor, call for him name out and everything. We never met them, but we know that the producer them that do the thing. You know what I mean? I lift that sound and that presenter on RFM up. So we use that as a catalyst now to up for we station. Yeah. Right it. And not get sabotage. Is it? And the people them, a Constant Spring, the people that are Manchester, people at Portland, I depend upon listening to Uncle Bess and everything, yeah, and Daddy Bone principle and so forth. And they never get nothing. So come Monday, Tuesday, we say, all right, you gotta get it, man. The thing should go up there, sir. Nothing of the kind. See it? So you look upon that now, you sit here, say, what the reality that happened? And the same night now, in England, we had a basketball, more than, 30-something years, reunion, Some of the people them died, but at the same time, enough people are alive, you see? So the sisters, sort out something, take them out 3 months and everything for organize and so forth. It's a basketball reunion. The people them know say best step on the radio. People them, what happened? Nothing go out. So the people them could not even get that live and direct here in London. So what happened? Sure. No, star. You know what I mean? And you know something? Consistency is my name. I run basketball program as a teacher and instructor, and then you do teaching, training, and everything. And one of the key words them using is consistency. Consistency, yeah? You get everywhere with consistency, you see? And I try factor that into things I do. You understand? From the time I get qualified. Even before I get qualified, because my grandparents is like that. But me I talk about England and going to school and everything and learn. And before I get qualified, and the people that said this thing here, me try it. Me implement it in everything me do. Consistency. You see? And sometimes you don't feel good, but you just can't, and we black people, we need to support one another. You understand? And have effort. And I mean that. So nobody no want to tell me nothing. Matter of urgency. We all make time for what we feel is important in our life. We all make time for what we feel is important in our lives. And that's true. And we all have to do that. But time is something you can't measure. And once time is gone, you can't take it back. And what is time? What energy? What is time? The moment. You see? It's how you factor those things in. So we say time, a lesson learned. You see? So it's very important, and I chose it particularly, for that purpose, you see, because it has significance in the practicality and the social development and the social science and the navigation of human beings. Yeah, you can't run from that time. No matter where you twist and turn and everything, time is very important. Life teaches us to make good use of time, while time teaches us the value of life.
I'm a singer man. Singer man. I'm a singer man.
Go on, son.
Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carry me.
Watch your
Thank
principle.
you, mama, cause you never trouble me. Thank you, mama, for the 9 months
Yo, I
you
agree.
carry me. Thank you, mama, cause you
I hope the
never
juice ready. You know.
Oh, wait, my mama.
What?
Special request
Come
to
at
my
nice.
mother and my father. Special request to my mother.
You know what I'm saying? The machine is not level, so I can't switch it on and make too much noise. You understand? So we're going to get with juice when the show done. High grade. Yeah, man. Green machine. You're good, man. I see the spinach there already. Yeah.
I'm a singer man.
Special request to all women,
Singer man.
whether young or old.
I'm a singer man.
Once you're a woman. I mean not she. I mean a woman. You see? When I mean them, hey.
I'm a singer man.
All women.
Singer man.
Ones that give birth. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carry me.
Mama.
Thank you, mama, cause you never trouble me.
Women.
Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carry me.
See?
Thank you, mama, cause you never trouble me.
She.
Oh, wait, my mama.
Crucial Barry Brown.
To my mother and my father. Special request to my mother and my father. My mother, my father, because of them makes me on you.
Tell them.
And them makes me on you.
Teach them.
Thank you, Papa, for the good things you show me.
True.
Thank you, Papa, for the good things you show me.
Hey, let me say baby mother or baby father, you know. Him say mama and father. You see? So where did that other thing come from? Follow fashion royalty, the American chat. You see? You think someone don't know about that? Spanglers?
Be an entertainer. I have to be an entertainer. From when I was 6, I was singing my song.
Tell them.
Now I'm a growing man, I'm doing it right. I want to be like the great star that ever comes that we see.
Tell them.
Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carry me. Thank you, papa, for you never told me. Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carry me. My mother, my father, oh yeah. I love them. I love them. I love them. I praise.
You know, the problem was his principal and him is a selector. And that was the problem, keeping up with him. Watch it. Pretty girls.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Delroy Wilson. Ladies again, you know? Keep it up.
I don't want no pretty girl. I just want an ordinary looking girl.
Yo, Caribbean,
I said
and
I
your
don't
grandson
want
listening.
no pretty girl.
Yeah, and your
An
godson,
ordinary looking girl.
and your bad-minded boy.
This girl is too hard to keep.
Yeah.
You have to sow while love will reap. This girl is loved by every guy in town, and too much guys keep running her down. So I don't want no pretty girl. I just want an ordinary looking girl.
Hey, my ex-wife, Enid, what happened to you? Long time and I see you. Oh, gosh, man. Get married again, you know. Delroy again, you know. Women, listen.
Baby, I need your loving. Baby, I need your loving. Although you never near your voice, I often hear another day, another
Elroy. Listen, some man them. Mr. Dawkins, listen.
Tell you truthfully about this good world and me. I want peace of mind, don't you see? I'm gonna get it, I know it's there somewhere for me. Gonna get love, I know that I will. Satisfaction gon' come until. Don't you fret now, I'll get love yet. Got this faith within me, just you wait a minute.
We are skateboard too.
Sister, sister, Sue. Sister, sister, Sue.
Madu.
What's the matter with you, girl? I don't know what to say, this daughter won't do. Don't know what to say, this daughter won't do. Went uptown and she come back too. Went downtown and she come back too. Went to Harborview and she back to you. Went to Bellevue and she then back to you, Sister Sue. Sister Sue, Sister Sue, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Oh, everything I say she don't believe me. Anywhere I go she's always behind me. Everywhere I go she's there with me. Sister Sue, can't you leave me alone? Sister Sue.
She brings something brand new.
What you drinking? Oh, oh, bada, oh, oh, bada, oh, bada. Oh no, I just can't understand. How come you wanna?
See them selection there? We give someone them good ideas of something them have to do. See it? So in everything, there's a learning curve. So all you have to do is take it, make good use of it. But people, we dip out and we freelance, you know, we dip out and we're going to try link forces with everything that is in the vicinity where we did it, East and North London, you see, because we are send a message and we try work with the diaspora and develop the understanding that we need to take care of our own. You know, we don't need to just watch and see and have sadness all the while. You know what I mean? And we have to elevate ourselves. We have to tutor ourselves. And we have to rein in our children them and get things back to some form of normality. Some people want to say we never had it, but we did. You see? Yeah. And we have to show that we care for ourselves. You know? If you remember all the tunes that me play, them all have messages. You see? Very important messages. You see? And the value is very important. And also, what is most important is the reflection. And what is very valuable and the most essential is that we acknowledge. You see? We acknowledge. And when I do it for benefit of profit, you see? Many people who know me, and all the young people that me deal with every week, them know say, you know what I mean? And their parents know say, me rich with God. I have a bank account with God. We not have a bank account with man. If that be the case, Terati, me done dead already, a sufferer. You see? But we have a bank account with God Almighty. You see? So, I'm going to try to do things that we can't do. I'm going to try to say something that we just for say the sake of saying it and all them something there. You understand? And, you know, I mean, we can bruise up and rape and everything. But you see, after a while, it's summer down there, you look upon yourself and you say to yourself, you know what? There's some things that could have done better and so forth. So I done good already, you see. So we just leave this bridge and everything, and by the time we come Facebook and so forth, and we're going international, you'll see the development of the education that I passed through, and how I graduate from that and learned, and the people them that we are going to work with and do things to make sure that the news is news and the gathering of minds is important. You see? Yeah. One of my main ambition, you know, is to have a conference and do it live. You know what I mean? A conference and do it live. And people understand, say, if Marcus Garvey was here, any Marcus Garvey aid and support, they would have made great use of the medium that we have, the resources that we come out with. You know what I mean? But people them just don't seem to recognize these things, because their mind is on other things. Is on other things. You see? And when someone door, you know, is licked off, or their children or some relative of theirs are in some major problem, it's only time that them start for realize and visualize, you know. So we not take incidents and make ourselves great, or being familiarized with people, or get a number of hits. That's not it, you know. Like me say earlier on, if one person will listen right now, you see, that good. You know what I mean? Because at least it's someone, you see. So it's not the popularity, you see, but we know, say, that more than one listener will come, and we know that by the time tomorrow come, more than one person going to tune in and listen to the thing. We know that my brethren them, right, and people will turn around and say, Bess, what the hell was wrong with you? What was wrong with you? Why you bring the emotion out there? I say, it's the platform that caused the thing in the first place. So me just amplify the thing real. Them say, hope so next weekend I do the same thing, you know. You understand? And that's why I say, because, you know, bridge over troubled waters. So give thanks, you know, people. And Danny and others out there, pass me link on, man. You understand? And I say me link, you know, pass our link. You see? It's now me link. You see what I mean? You see how the devil can work? You see? Make you believe say you're more important and you're not. Right? Life teaches us to make good use of time. Wise time teaches us to value the value of life. Wise time teaches us the value of life. You see? Big youth, Jayot, gone. Yeah, human del, that means a lot to me. You see? Yeah, a great deal, you know? And people too, because we had all those people to listen to the station, you see, and use the same thing to entertain themselves, enjoy themselves, knowing that one of them brethren that taught them basketball, and we have a reunion, and at 30 years, people come from all across Europe, even the US, came to Hackney, you see, came to Hackney, right? Then the ones there yard are wait, you see, yeah. So what? That means a big lick, you see, and then me know overhype the thing to a sound man that me did, that I am and I was and everything, you see, And the producer them give a tune. The tune them, you know, G.T. Taylor, the tune them must sing for G.T. Taylor and everything. And through I work for the man and I promote the work that the man I do, not GT, the promote the producer and the distributor. It's just right and fitting, you see? And me that, I'm principle. So, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive we. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all the wrongs that we have done. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us moving in the right direction. And anything that we do that is haram, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me and change it into halal. You see? Yeah. We have some Muslim brethren and sisters who hate what I do or what I'm trying to do. Them just don't like the music part. You see? And no matter how you try to make them listen to the lyrical thing, them stand like that. It's not that they're not my brethren and sisters anymore. Them just say there must be another way, right? And I'm saying that this is what my people have been into forever, you see? So you can't come tell them to take them record and dash them to the side or get them to the white boy or some of the idiot boy and everything, and then we just move on. No, you see? So, big youth, Magan, guidance. Assalamu alaikum.
The work of the Lord is perfect, and the coming of his judgment is soon.
And when you look upon when me dispatch Melek El Shabazz, my sister in Anifa Tree, health, you see? And then the Kitab Allah, you see it there? You understand? And then the map of the continent. May I display we, you see? And people can see it. You display we. When I display nothing else, you see? So when some people come give me some adverts and everything, when I display them too. But right now, constipation and so forth, you understand? Africa, that we work with. Goodness, that we work with. All the young girls that carry the water, you see? There's a lesson in there. Paul never give you that. You see? Which Paul? No, we're not dealing with Paul, Matthew, Mark, no Luke, no John. You see? And the John that me deal with, him name Yahya. And the other J that me name with, him name Yaqub. You see? Yusuf. Yeah, we not deal with them other thing there. Right? The Christ we deal with him name Isa alayhi salam. The book we deal with named Al-Quran. You see? And the male figure, the man figure we deal with, named Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah. He don't name Elijah Muhammad. No. He don't name Fad Muhammad. He named Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see? That's it. We live with it and we will die with it. Simple things. No complication. You understand? And that's it. So, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us and guide us and strengthen us. And make whatever little message that we give reach one ear is important. One ear. You understand? Yeah. America. Britain wake up tomorrow morning to our Prime Minister. You may shout out something. You know what I mean? It could take him a little while. We may have a war. You see? Yeah. But nevertheless, I saw them stay. Right. Big youth, listen good, carefully. Guidance.
The work of the Lord is perfect, and the coming of his judgment is soon. Make haste while you may. Tomorrow is another day.
And when I try to show you say again, this is Al Campbell and Big Youth. This is the whole family, the Tippertone family of Ja Youth Tippertone and Ja Artist Tippertone. You see? Yeah. Oh, gosh, man.
The work of the Lord
the
is
original.
Perfect, and the coming of his judgment is soon.
Not my set, the original.
Make haste while you may. Tomorrow is another day.
Child, children following
take a walk and sing
bad day.
Why would you even fight against him, brother? Sing Babylon, Lord, Jaja children. So you got to love them well. Sing Babylon. But you got to love them well. So him take a vote against him mother. Move ya! Don't come to fight against him brother. Why would take a vote against his mother? Just to go and fight out him brother. It's a trial and tribulation and pure persecution. Trial and tribulation and pure prostitution. Babylon knows that the children. Why me say if you love them well?
What you gonna do when the Father stretch forth his hands to lead us forward to the promised land?
Then we'll be going to a land of happiness and joy, a land of peace, total togetherness, and then we walking together. Don't make them we love one another, to love the other children. And so I say to love them well. So much only time will tell. In every way and every walk of life, it's just trial and tribulation and pure persecution. Trial and tribulation and pure persecution. Babylon knows that the children are beg you. So me say if you love them.
Carrying your own water, you will understand the value of it. Yeah, you see them lyrics there? You see, next time we come back, we playlist all of everything that we don't play just now. You playlist them, man. And you can get the whole catalog. Don't worry yourself. Yeah, we're gone good to go. Yeah. Gladiators. Arise and shine and give the glory to the Almighty. Yeah, man, Friday, you have Principal Live, and you have Navigator. Yeah, I agree. Him stuck on the juice machine. So, he might take care of my health right now. Yeah, man, guidance. And Thursday, we're rap. Yeah, man. Strictly speaking. The slave name on Thursday. Yeah. Slave names. Human rights. Slave names, man. Melek Al-Shabazz. Mighty gladiators, arise and shine. Yeah. And give God the glory. Enough people don't rise up, so them can't shine. So when we shine, when we rise, we give God Almighty the praise. Every time. So try rise up tomorrow at 3:20 and give God Almighty the praise. That's so it go. Yeah. Don't hold on to sleep too long. Guidance. We're gone. On Thursday, we have conversation. Is in? On Friday, we have principle live and direct. Guidance. Yeah.